Intergenerational trauma. What is it? Intergenerational trauma, also known as transgenerational or inherited trauma, refers to psychological and biological effects of trauma passed down from one generation to the next. Why is it important? Trauma, whether personal or collective, manifests across generations, impacting cultures and individuals and families, even long after events have passed, which can lead to mental health struggles such as depression, PTSD, substance abuse, and anxiety, the roots of which many people are unaware of. Is there important vocabulary for this subject? Yes, there is. And here are important words to take into account. But what do they mean? Epigenetics is the study of how experiences modify gene expression without altering the underlying DNA sequence itself. Amygdala is the part of the brain which processes emotion, especially fear. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change in response to trauma or experiences, allowing it to adapt. Cortisol is the hormone which the body releases when stressed to bring the system back to normal. Transmission is the process which trauma responses learned from survivors are passed across generations to their descendants. But wait, there's even more. Integration, connecting past trauma to present behavior. Epigenetic modification, chemical changes to DNA that affect how genes work. HPA axis dysregulation, when your stress response system is out of balance. Stress reactivity or PTSD, overreacting to stress after trauma. Glucocorticoid receptor sensitivity, how strongly your body reacts to stress hormones. Complex PTSD, long-term PTSD from repeated trauma. Depressive effect, ongoing sadness or hopelessness. Transgenerational social learning behaviors or coping from family patterns. Interpersonal avoidance, avoiding closeness or conflict to stay emotionally safe. Neural outcome, how experiences shape the brain structure and function. Emotional burden, carrying someone else's burden. Predictive variable, something that helps forecast a mental health outcome. What are examples of intergenerational trauma? There are a lot of recurring examples of intergenerational trauma, and I'll show you them here and talk about a few of them. One is the Holocaust. Two is indigenous trauma. Three is African American slavery. Fourth is the stolen generation. Fifth is the Khmer Rouge. These are just a few significant ones, but of course there's more. I'll just talk about two of them. During World War II, from 1941 to 1945, Nazi Germany, under Adolf Hitler, carried out systematic campaigns to target certain groups of people which didn't align with their views. Of course, being Jewish people, and along with others. Their goal was to remove anyone they considered a threat or inferior. They did this through horrific methods such as mass shootings in gas chambers and forced labor. The effects of trauma didn't end with just the survivors. Children and even grandchildren of Holocaust survivors carry lasting emotional scars. Many grew up with feeling confusion or guilt as families either didn't talk about what happened or shared overwhelming stories. Overall, the Holocaust left deep psychological and emotional impacts which have echoed through multiple generations. The Khmer Rouge had a very similar impact on generations like the Holocaust. Many were executed and forced through labor, destroying families and communities. Around 2 million people died, and the lasting effects are still seen on Cambodian people today. And research shows that these descendants are much more likely to have experienced heightened stress, anxiety, or symptoms similar to PTSD. They often internalize the fears and pain of their parents, carrying emotional weight which isn't directly their own. How do you heal from intergenerational trauma? Experts say that healing for intergenerational trauma looks different for everyone, since everyone is unique. Deciding to explore your ancestral story should always be personal and approaching with your own pace. They also explain that integration, the process of connecting past trauma with present understanding, starts with acknowledging that intergenerational trauma exists. It also means recognizing how parts of us today may still be tied to survival skills of our ancestors and learning how to create new, healthier ways to move through the world.
Why is it important? It's important because unresolved trauma just doesn't disappear. By looking at how trauma is passed down and internalized within families, we can start to understand modern struggles like addiction, anxiety, and identity conflict. Awareness alone might not bring every hidden problem to light, but it builds the foundation we need to break those generational cycles and help future generations reclaim their sense of strength, control, and well-being.
Thank you for listening to this presentation.